Beloved, I want you to understand something that will change the way you perceive love, the way you attract it, and the way it flows to you as naturally as the breath in your lungs. The great secret is not found in chasing, not in convincing, not in clinging or begging, but in the invisible workshop of your imagination. It is here, in this holy place within you, that the real world is shaped. Love does not come because you run after it. Love comes because you have already become it in the silence of your own mind. To imagine is to plant the seed, and what is planted in imagination must grow in your experience. The invisible must become visible. The unseen must step forward into flesh and bone reality. So when you grasp that imagination is the secret, you will stop exhausting yourself with outward effort, and you will begin to radiate an inner power that makes love come to you as if drawn by a magnet. You see, most people believe that they must earn affection through performance, that they must strive for attention, that they must alter themselves in desperate attempts to be desired. But the truth is that nothing external can guarantee lasting love. Only the inward assumption of being loved creates the outward reflection of being pursued. When you assume in your imagination that you are already desired, cherished, and adored, the whole universe conspires to make that assumption harden into fact. The lover you long for feels a pull they cannot explain, a whisper in their heart that tells them you are the one, and they come running, not because you chased, but because you dared to imagine that you were already chosen. Imagination is not mere daydreaming. It is the creative act of God working through you. It is the womb of reality. Every relationship you have ever experienced was first conceived in imagination, whether consciously or unconsciously. Every attraction, every rejection, every obsession, all of it was born from the unseen world within you. You are never a victim of chance. You are only ever experiencing the harvest of your inner conversations and assumptions. And so if you want love to chase you, you must speak within yourself as though it already does. Hear the footsteps of love running toward you. Feel the arms that long to hold you. Experience the texts, the calls, the laughter, the tender words, all in the sanctuary of your imagination. If you sustain this inner state, the outer must conform. Love is not blind, love is obedient. It follows the command of your inner vision. If you insist on imagining yourself lonely, unwanted, or abandoned, then love has no choice but to reflect that imagination in your experience. But if you insist on imagining yourself adored, if you rehearse in the mind's theater the scenes of passion and pursuit, then love cannot help but run after you. The law is unfailing. What you dare to assume with conviction must externalize itself in time. This is why I say to you, stop asking when, stop asking how, stop asking why. Begin instead to dwell in the end, to live now, in the feeling of being so irresistible that love has no choice but to chase you. This is not arrogance. This is creation. Let me tell you a secret about the heart. It does not respond to force, but it bows before imagination. You cannot demand another to love you, but you can imagine yourself loved. And that imagination works invisibly upon their mind and heart, calling them forth. For what is imagination but telepathy clothed in the language of feeling? Every thought you entertain, every scene you rehearse is a message sent out into the field of consciousness. And consciousness is one. The one you love is not separate from you. They are included in your imagination. When you dwell in the state of being loved, they receive that message as their own desire, and they begin to feel compelled to act in harmony with your assumption. They begin to dream of you, to think of you at odd hours, to feel restless until they are near you. They do not know why, but you know why. When you would examine consciousness, you have a crystal ball. You are an inspector. You know it was your imagination that whispered to them, and it was your persistence that made the whisper grow into a song they could not ignore. Do not underestimate the power of your inner conversations. If you truly wish for love to chase you, then throughout the day, speak inwardly as though your beloved is already speaking to you. Hear them call you their treasure, their chosen one, their eternal partner. Hear them tell you how they cannot get you out of their mind, how they are drawn to you like a river to the sea. And as you hear this in imagination, respond as though it were real, because it is. The unseen is more real than the seen, for the seen is only the shadow of what was once unseen. When you live this way, you do not wonder if love will come. You know it must. And so you walk with the quiet confidence of one who is already desired, already pursued, already cherished. The greatest mistake people make is to look outward for evidence too soon. They imagine once or twice, then look around, see no immediate change, and conclude that the law does not work. But the law is perfect. The outer always bends to the inner. What delays manifestation is not the weakness of the law, but the inconsistency of your imagination. You cannot sow the seed today and dig it up tomorrow to see if it is growing. You must trust that the moment you planted it in imagination, it was already accomplished. You must water it with feeling, nourish it with gratitude, and protect it from the weeds of doubt. If you persist, it cannot fail. Love must chase you. It has no choice. For it is already finished in the unseen. Let your imagination be wild and vivid. Do not be timid. If you want to be adored, then imagine scenes of adoration so strong they make your heart race. Imagine being surprised with flowers, with tender messages, with unexpected visits. Imagine being held so tightly you cannot doubt for a moment that you are loved. And do not just imagine the big gestures. Imagine the small details that make love so intoxicating. Imagine the warmth of a hand reaching for yours, the sound of footsteps rushing toward you, the sudden silence of the world when their eyes meet yours. These details impress the subconscious more deeply than vague wishes, and the subconscious has no choice but to outpicture them. And here is something even more profound. You do not need to direct your imagination toward a specific person if you do not wish to. You can simply assume that you are the kind of being who is always chaste, always desired, always chosen. And then whoever fits that vibration will appear in your world, drawn irresistibly by the frequency you have assumed. You need not know their name, their face, or their story. You must know is the feeling of being pursued, the joy of being wanted, the thrill of being loved. Once you dwell in that state, the actors of the play will appear on stage to fulfill it. This is the wonder of imagination. It draws to you not only the one you may long for, but all who are in harmony with your assumption. There is no limit to how much love you can draw toward yourself. Do not think in small terms. Do not imagine one timid gesture when you can imagine a flood of affection. Do not settle for a trickle when you can have a river. You are not at the mercy of another's will. You are the center of creation, and creation responds to your inner state. So choose wisely, choose deliberately. Choose to be so magnetic in your imagination that love cannot rest until it finds you. Choose to believe so completely in your worth that the outer world has no choice but to agree. For if you do not imagine yourself loved, the world will mirror that unbelief. But if you dare to imagine yourself irresistible, the world will line up to prove it true. Do you not see? Love is not earned, it is assumed. Desire is not begged for, it is imagined. Passion is not persuaded, it is felt inwardly until it bursts forth outwardly. You are not here to chase. You are here to radiate. You are not here to beg for attention. You are here to command attention through the quiet authority of your imagination. When you close your eyes and live in the end, you awaken a force more powerful than any strategy, more potent than any charm. You awaken the divine law of assumption, And that law ensures that what you imagine, you become. And what you become, the world must reflect. So I tell you, stop running, stop pleading, stop waiting. Begin imagining. Begin dwelling in the secret place of the Most High within you, where all things are already yours. Begin to feel the joy of being pursued, the laughter of being desired, the security of being chosen. And as you feel it, do not let it go. Hold it, live in it, saturate your being with it until it becomes more real than the outer world. Then watch, with a calm and steady heart, as the outer world rearranges itself to bring you the love that was already yours in imagination. When you realize that imagination is the true cause of all that you experience, you stop giving power to circumstances, appearances, and the actions of others. You no longer wonder what someone thinks of you, or whether they will reach out, or if they truly care. Instead, you turn inward and decide. You choose the state of being loved. You claim within yourself, I am adored, I am wanted, I am pursued with passion. And that claim, though silent to the world, is thunderous in the unseen. It reverberates through consciousness, echoing in the mind of the one you desire, stirring their heart until they can no longer resist. They begin to chase you, not because you forced them, but because your assumption became their impulse. This is the mystery. What you imagine as true for yourself is impressed upon the one you love, and they act it out as though it were their own decision. The outer world is like a mirror, but it is a delayed mirror. What you see today was not caused today, it was caused yesterday, or last week, or last month, in imagination. That is why many feel trapped. They keep imagining rejection and then wonder why it continues to repeat. But once you understand this delay, you are no longer disheartened. You realize that no matter what the outer world shows right now, it can change, because you can change your imagination now. If you imagine differently, today you plant a new seed, and in due time it must appear. So when you want love to chase you, begin at once to imagine yourself chased, adored, pursued. Do not wait for evidence. Create the evidence within. In imagination, feel the delight of being wanted so badly that you can hardly catch your breath. Feel the messages pouring in. Feel the urgency in their voice. Experience it all inside, and soon the outer will reflect the inner. Do not mistake imagination for fantasy. Fantasy is idle. Imagination with faith is creation. The difference is belief. When you fantasize, you know it is pretend. When you imagine with conviction, you know it is real, though unseen. You enter into the feeling as though it were present, and the subconscious accepts it as fact. The subconscious does not question, it does not argue, it only creates according to the impression given to it. So impress it with the conviction that love chases you, and it will arrange the circumstances to make it true. You may not know how, you may not know when, but you do not need to know. The how and when belong to the law. Your only task is to sustain the assumption. Every great romance, every story of passion begins in imagination. Even when people are unaware, they are imagining themselves into these roles. And if their imaginations are fearful or doubtful, they create experiences of loss, betrayal, or neglect. But you are learning to use imagination consciously, deliberately, powerfully. You are learning to script the story before it unfolds, to cast yourself in the role of the beloved, the pursued, the irresistible one. When you play that role inwardly, it must be yours outwardly. For imagination is not just a tool, it is reality itself. Think of the one you love. Perhaps you long for them to chase you, to miss you, to reach for you. Instead of wishing, imagine. See them with eyes of longing, hear their voice trembling with need for you, feel their hands pulling you close. If you sustain this vision, it will work upon them invisibly. They will find themselves thinking of you, compelled to contact you, unable to stay away. They may not understand why, but you will. You will know it was the secret act of imagination that drew them. This is not manipulation, this is creation. For you are not bending another's will, you are awakening within them the reality that already exists in imagination. And what is more, you can expand this beyond one person. You can create the experience that wherever you go, you are chased by love. Strangers turn their heads, friends shower you with affection, lovers cannot resist your presence. All of this is possible if you assume it within. For love is not bound to one vessel. Love is a force, and it flows toward the one who imagines themselves to be worthy of it. Imagine yourself as a fountain overflowing with beauty, grace, and charm, and you will find love pursuing you in every direction. Remember this, you are not seeking love, you are love. And because you are love, the world must mirror it back. When you imagine yourself as love embodied, you become magnetic. The outer world bends to that magnetism. People cannot help but notice you, admire you, want you. You do not chase, you radiate. You do not plead, you possess. And in possessing, you attract. This is why imagination is the secret, for without imagination, you are trapped in appearances, always reacting to what is. But with imagination, you create what shall be. You step ahead of time, you live in the end, and you pull the unseen into visibility. Persist, that is the great command. Do not imagine once and stop. Do not test it as though it were uncertain. Live in it as though it were true. If you were already adored, already chased, already wanted, how would you walk? How would you speak? How would you feel? Adopt that posture now in imagination, and the world will match it. When you believe you are wanted, the one you love begins to feel the desire rise within them. When you believe you are irresistible, they see you with new eyes. When you believe you are pursued, they cannot rest until they pursue you. It is the law. The outer must follow the inner. Yeah. So I urge you tonight, before you sleep, enter into the scene of being loved. Close your eyes and let the world fall away. Feel the bed where you lie, but overlay it with the warmth of your beloved beside you. Hear their breath. Feel their embrace. Hear them whisper how they cannot live without you, how they chased you until they found you. Drift into sleep with this feeling and let the subconscious carry it into creation. When you awaken tomorrow, walk as though it were already true. Do not look for it. Embody it. The more you embody it, the faster it manifests. For you are not waiting, you are already living the end. And when you live the end must come. Love is not distant. Love is here in imagination now. Do not say someday they will want me. Say instead, right now I am wanted. Right now I am chased. Right now I am irresistible. This affirmation, felt deeply, becomes the seed of your reality, and in time the world will bend to it. The person you desire will feel it, and their actions will align. They will chase you. They will adore you. They will prove outwardly what you dared to claim inwardly. The beauty of this secret is that it frees you from all the old struggles, the endless wondering, the anxious waiting. You no longer need to decipher mixed signals. No longer need to replay old conversations in your mind. No longer need to doubt your worth. For when you turn to imagination, you hold the key. You no longer ask, do they love me? Will they come back? Will they chase me? You declare, I am already loved. They cannot resist me. They are chasing me now. And this declaration, when felt, when assumed, rewrites the entire script of your life. The one you love may have turned away yesterday, but if you imagine differently tonight, they must turn toward you tomorrow. The past has no power when you claim a new future in imagination. Many cannot believe this because they think love belongs to another person's will. But love belongs to the state you occupy. Consciousness is the only reality, and others are but mirrors of the consciousness you embody. If you embody loneliness, others reflect distance. If you embody unworthiness, others reflect rejection. But if you embody being adored, others reflect pursuit. This is the law. And once you accept it, you are free. You stop begging. You stop waiting. You stop fearing. You rest in the knowledge that, as you imagine, so it is. The world may call this delusion, but